it's fascinating to me. Like I personally am not drawn to it,
Uh-huh.
but I mean I'll watch it and I'm like I don't really want to buy anything from this guy, but man, people are laying money down buying stuff
Right,
from him.
right. And
So I mean,
the whatnot, the why not at what not or
mhm.
why not, one of the two. I'm not sure,
Oh yeah,
but
what not? Uh-huh.
what not? Okay, yeah, they were selling coins, socks, jackets, thrifting items, right? And I'm like, that seems pretty cool. Like I was saying, I'm outside already in front of people, and then I'm sure me doing a transaction with an actual customer and then showing it online would be beneficial, right? But I'm trying to get Frank to go outside and do more in person events so we can actually touch hands. Like I mentioned at the top of the show, we want to do an in person event with some of the guests for a networking event, right, or collaboration event for a couple of reasons. As to the people on our show, they can network with other guests that we've had to build and create and do God knows what, right? Because everybody we talked to has been pretty successful in business and all kinds of levels, so everybody can benefit or learn or work with somebody. But also, a lot of those guys or companies we talk to want to have an online presence via podcasting, but they just don't have like you said, those tools and resources. Yeah, they could probably go online and find it. There's nothing out there, but I mean, there's a lot out there, but it's like we're at 100 episodes. We have three different shows. We do a Wednesday live show, we have a conspiracy show, and then we do this one, right? So we're always putting out content. And we've learned a lot that we can just share that you don't have to go through those mistakes, right? So I definitely, uh, like I said, it's confirmation to say that yeah, I think
Yeah.
we need to go ahead and move forward with that live and in person event because it's going to help whoever comes, right? And it's going to help us grow our presence and relationship with them.
Yeah, and I'll say this: kudos on making it to 101 episodes.
Yes,
I've we're kind of between seasons. We've got a podcast called Marketing Trailblazers, and it's work. Like it's almost like a second job to like crank this out. And so getting to 101 is a big accomplishment. So
thank you,
congrats.
thank you. We're trying to just stand out. We definitely understand that. I listen to a lot of podcasts, right? Because that's what I actually do. So a lot of these shows are like 700 and like 800 episodes. I'm not trying to compare my 100 episode to the 700 episode, right? But I do understand that we gotta keep going, right? We just gotta keep pushing the envelope and not stopping and being consistent and things like that. Um,
Well, and I think like now podcasting, I think as in terms of audience and listenership has started to plateau a little bit, but
mhm,
the way that you can take all of that content, right? So we're sitting here talking for 45 minutes. The ability for you to take and chop that up and put it on YouTube Shorts and TikTok and all these things. It's we're at a point now that you can get in front of more people probably now than you ever have been able to because the algorithms are changing to people being it's not about how many people follow you, it's about
mhm.
how many people are interested in what
Yeah,
you have to say.
right.
And so this what is the TikTokification of social media? Um, what we're finding is that you can have a million followers, but if you're not producing content that that the algorithm sees that they like,
Hmm.
it doesn't matter that they follow you; they may never see your content. And
Right.
so, the if you can create content that people are genuinely interested in, and you don't have to appeal to the masses every time. You can appeal to a small group. You can appeal to 10,000
So
people,
niche, right? Niche down.
and those 10,000 people, yeah, yeah, and they will get your content and they'll engage with your content,
Hmm.
and so I think we're in an interesting time that has a lot of frustration to it because things are changing so fast. But there's a lot of opportunity as well because the tides have shifted a little bit, and you don't have to be this like dinosaur brand that has been around with a million followers to really be successful. You can be, you can have 100 episodes, you can have 10 episodes, and just a couple of them can take off, and
Right.
you're at the top.
All right, so I gotta take a quick break, guys. So Frank has
Yeah,
the paid for Zoom version. I do not. I need to pay for it, or this thing's gonna cost me a few minutes. Give me like 2 seconds.
you're fine. You're fine. So, Gabrielle, what do you do?
I'm actually a mail carrier. I'm a mail
Oh,
lady.
awesome. Well,
Yeah,
thank you for your that is a very valuable service.
you're
And so
welcome.
I appreciate what y'all do.
Yeah, the day felt really, really good compared to the days we've been outside in the 32-degree weather. Today it warmed up
I
for us.
bet.
So that was really good. Really enjoying the weather? I sure am. I didn't have to wear gloves today. So yeah, today was a good day. And then besides, I assist them on the side. So I write their notes for their podcast. So yeah.
Oh, awesome.
All right.
King, who typically your audience for this show? Who's typically listening?
All right, so we can put this part back in. Frank, go ahead
Oh,
and put this
okay.
back in. That's a great question, though. That's a great question. So we are so since Frank and I are serial entrepreneurs, right? We both do several different things. I have maybe 3 different businesses. He has maybe 4 or 5, right? We're trying to niche them down to kind of consolidate them. But we usually typically talk to starting entrepreneurs or early stage entrepreneurs, right? And hence the name of the show, figuring shit out. And you kind of alluded to trying
Yeah.
to that standing out factor, right? We're trying to stand out, but also hit the mark and kind of let people know what we're conversing about, which is talking to great entrepreneurs like yourself who have figured some shit out and kind of sharing those milestones or obstacles that you overcome so that can possibly help them in their endeavors. So yeah.
So that's great. So if I could give two pieces of advice to anybody that's starting out,
Absolutely.
it would be one, get a good name that is distinct. Like if you're a CPA and you're gonna call yourself Jones's CPA, just don't just stop. Like that's
Yep.
boring, and
It's a
you
thousand
will do
jealousies to yourself.
okay, but yes, yeah, you will do okay, but you won't do as good as you can do.
Mm-hmm.
And so coming up with a great name at the beginning will really kind of set you on a good track. So naming and your branding like is important. I would say if you have something that you feel just in your gut, you feel like it'll stand out, it'll connect with your customers. Whatever you do, don't ask people what they think about it, because as soon as you ask someone what they think about it, and we see this with like logos all the time, a client will say, they'll
Yes.
take a logo and take it to their friends and say, hey, what do you think about this? That person you're asking to think about it, they're going to feel like they have to come up with some sort of good, thoughtful reason for why it's good or bad. And that's not how we operate in the real world, right? And so, when we operate in the real world, we see a logo and we have a gut instinct. We have a gut reaction to it, like that looks interesting, and I want to learn more about it, or that looks sketchy, or that looks boring. I don't really want to learn any more about it. And so, rather than asking what people think about it, I try to get their reaction with as little words as possible. If you have to ask them a question, ask them, how do they feel about it? How does this make you
Mm-hmm.
feel?
Okay.
Because the way we feel about something, the way we think about something are often two completely different things. And from a marketing perspective, you've got to grab people in a way that they feel it, before you can grab them in a way they can think about it. And so,
All
um,
right.
you have to get that system one, that instinctive, just gut reaction, part of their brain before you can give them all the reasons why you're the best, right? Um,
Yeah.
the other thing I'd totally recommend, and just best advice to anybody starting out, is figure your money out. Figure out how much do you need to pay yourself, and to put a little bit aside for profit, right? And be very, very, very wary of getting into any sort of business debt. That was some mistakes that I made very early on,
Mm-hmm.
and it will slow you down it will stress you out, and just kind of try to stay away from it as much as possible, unless there's a really, really good reason and there's going to be a really, really good payoff for it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, um, so those are my uh, two pieces of advice I could give to anybody starting out. We absolutely love like startups, entrepreneurs. So Epic Nine is kind of our main agency. We work with slightly larger businesses,
Mm-hmm.
but Climb Club was designed for those folks that you're looking to make $1 million in revenue, but you're not there, right? And
Right.
so that the Climb Club is for folks who are wanting to grow and wanting to get over that $1 million a year revenue mark. Uh, and it gives you all the tools and all the resources at a price that pretty much any business or startup can afford.
Right. I definitely feel you or understand you with the getting the customer or a person to feel what you're selling, right, or what you're trying to convey. Um, Again, with the masks that I sell, I usually don't have to say much, right? They're very attractive, very, unique and not very ubiquitous, right? They're not everywhere. So when people see them, it's like it's always an instant feeling, right? If it's not the child, it's usually the parent or is the grandparent, right? Somebody's feeling something about it. And then but the name of my game is just kind of taking that customer, getting them into a funnel for something else, right? And so that's kind of the name of the game. But I definitely understand and believe in getting the person that you're trying to connect with to feel something rather than to think something. And you touched on a little bit about Climb Club, right? So getting bringing local business owners together to break $1 million a year revenue, right? So talk about that. So where do you come up with that game plan? How do you plan on doing it, right? Well, have you done it? I'm sure you said you've done it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so yeah, Epic Nine, we've broken that mark probably 4 years ago.
Congratulations.
But what we've found with our clients is businesses that are under that mark, it most of the time it doesn't make a lot of sense for them to pay an agency like us, right?
Okay.
Because by the time if you're under that $1 million a year revenue mark and you are looking at somewhere between 2 to 5% of your revenue for marketing, um, you're thinking about maybe $1,000 $2,000 a month for marketing. The minute you go to an agency, half of that money's gone, right? It's going to the agency for their
All right.
services. And so while you're in that mode of getting to that $1 million mark, um, you need to make that $1,000 $2,000 or whatever you've got. If you're starting out with 100, you need to make that work as efficiently as possible. And the reality is, if you're trying to pull together a marketing budget and you have like 250 $500 a month, chances are you cannot find good services for that, right?
Yeah.
Like every you can get lucky, and there's going to be some freelancer out there that's going to cuss me because they're like, I charge $500 and I I'm great. There are some gems out there. There's just some absolute gems of creative people who aren't charging enough, in my opinion. Like uh, because their services are more valuable than that.
Mm,
Um, but uh, but you can find them every once in a while. But for the most part, most businesses are not lucky enough to get really good marketing for that price. And so, what Climb Club is intended to do is to give you the resources to do your marketing on your own until you can get to that point where it makes sense to either hire someone on staff. If you're at the point where if you can hire someone on staff to do your marketing, you're in a great position. Or pay an agency, pay someone to help you with your marketing. That's the idea. That's the goal. The $1 million mark is arbitrary. Some
mm.
people get there before $1 million. Some people get there after $1 million.